GMAE, everybody. Good afternoon, morning, evening, or good morning, afternoon, evening. Yeah, I got it now. GMAE. My name is John Willow. Welcome again to episode number 4. Episode 4. Fabulous. Of Potholes and Cadillac Dreams. This is obviously a special episode because I have my fabulous Got Rock cap that I got from Memphis on. I got that recently during an excursion to Memphis. And I'm also wearing, and you can't really see real well because of the camera, but I have a Hawaiian shirt that I got from Elvis Presley's restaurant in Memphis, Tennessee in 1997. It was the very first visit I had to Memphis. It was in the 20th anniversary of Elvis's death, and went to Elvis Presley's restaurant, ate a fried peanut butter banana sandwich, which was very good. Very, very good. I would highly recommend it. Unfortunately, they're closed. It had been closed for a number of years because it didn't quite work out. But I did get the shirt out of this deal. So for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, you can see my Got Rock cap. For those of you listening on podcast, it's black with, it just says Got Rock ? And that's always been my favorite genre of music. And that is what we're covering today, is genres of music. For those of you watching, I'm going to quickly kind of stand so you can see on the left-hand portion of my sleeve. There we go, Elvis Presley's restaurant. Just so you all would know I actually was there when it was for its 15 minutes of fame, and got this shirt, which I've been wearing for the past buku number of years, and it fits really nicely, and it's fabulous. And so there you go. How you all doing? I hope you all doing well. I'm doing great. Yeah, you're up there. I was looking at how pretty I was, and that's not good. See, when you're talking on camera, you need to look at the camera because that's really important. You want to talk to you. That's right, you, right there. And then while I'm talking to you. That's right, you on the bicycle, or you on the hiking path, or you sitting by your radio in your car. I'm talking to you. Just you, nobody else. Okay, is that better? Good. Those are the ground rules, you see. Gotta keep with the ground rules. So anyway, in this episode, what we're going to do is, some of you were kind enough to give me suggestions on music that I could add to my repertoire, because I'm an old guy, and as you know, old guys are very set in their ways. So I've been listening to folks like Rod Stewart and Bruce Springsteen and the Rolling Stones and AC/DC and Queen and ad infinitum. You name an old group, and I probably got it in my phone, and I was getting tired of listening to them. George Thorogood just came to my mind. George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers, have them in my phone. And I got tired of listening to the same stuff. So I put the word out to some folks, to you all, actually, to get me some ideas as to different groups and different people I could listen to and all that. So you all came through in splendid fashion. Splendid, I tell you. Did I mention the word splendid? I think I did. Oh, speaking of things that I'm supposed to remind you to do, or that I'm being reminding myself to say, because like I said, this is episode 4. So I've only done this like 4 times, and I don't have a ready patter in my intro yet. So by episode 15, 16, 17, I should have this down pat, but until then, it's one of those things where it's catch can. Catches is catch can, and so I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe. Can we say it after me? 1, 2, 3. Like and subscribe. Yes, that would make me very happy, and it would be very cool, and we'd all be one big happy family, and we'd all get along in kumbaya. So, like and subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, you guys sent me some suggestions, and I have been busy listening to them the last few days, as I promised I would after episode number 3. And I've come back with some notes. So I'm going to be referring to my notes. So I'm going to look down. For those of you watching on YouTube, I am going to look down on occasion. I know that's a no-no. I've been researching. I know you're not supposed to look down. You're supposed to look at the camera all the time. But as you've noticed, I've checked myself out to make sure I still look pretty and things aren't hanging from various spots. And then, of course, I have to look at my notes. So if you'll forgive me, those of you listening to podcasts, I don't use any notes. I freeform this. There are no notes involved. I am really, really smart. Holy cow. So I don't use a note, not a smidge, nothing. So keep that in your thought. You watching on the video, a little bit different, but hey, that's okay. So we will start with my friend Craig, who actually lives across the way from me. He recommended a group. Now, this is what he told me. He said it's a group called Yellow Flag. And they're a Swiss group, a Swiss techno group who deals in racing. And the leader of this group is like a wealthy Swiss industrialist type guy, a multimillionaire. And so I listened to the name of the band is Yellow. The name of their group, their album is Flag. So it's Yellow. He said the name of the group was Yellow Flag. No, it's Yellow. Name of the album, Flag. Okay, got it? Good. So I listened to this, and for those of you that are old, like me, and have maybe watched Saturday Night Live every so often, you remember way back when there was a guy by the name of Mike Myers. So Mike Myers, if you remember, SNL, Mike Myers, he was a player on SNL, and then he went on to do very, very famous things like Shrek and the Austin Powers series, and now he does basically an occasional commercial, whatever, because he's got a ton of money. He doesn't have to do anything. So, buku bucks for him. Good on him. Glad he's doing well. Glad he's just living his life or whatever. But he did a bit on SNL that was, so funny. It was just funny. It was basically a takeoff on a German music program. So imagine American Bandstand, but Germanized up. And of course, you're thinking German, very strange sounding, strange dressing, strange acting, strange whatever. Nothing to say anything about the Germans, however, this particular bit kind of made fun of the German style of music and whatever. His name was Dieter, and it was Sprockets. That was the name of the bit, and he would get on there, and he would have a pet monkey, and his thing was, touch my monkey, touch my monkey. And I always thought that was really funny, because touch my monkey, you can go a million places with that. We don't, because, we're such a family-oriented show here. But, yeah, he would scream, touch my monkey, and he'd make this little face. That was pretty good, actually. I just checked myself out, and I did that pretty well, actually. Yeah, that's the face he used to have. And he used to wear all black, and with a all black, really tight. And he used to dance very, very funny. And he used to have people on there who was also did the thing with a German accent, and it was hysterical. That's what this music reminded me of, is Sprockets. And this is the music that would have played on Sprockets. Now, my buddy is a very good friend of mine. Obviously, his taste in music and mine are a little bit different. I will tell you that there are 2 songs on this album that they're not bad. And I actually downloaded them into my phone. The first one was Tied Up. And no, it has no reference to being tied in a chair and all the places you're going right this very second. And you shouldn't. You just shouldn't go there. It's not right and it's not good. Particularly if you're doing something really healthy like walking or playing golf or riding around in your car or whatever you're doing. It's not healthy to think these thoughts. So just don't do it. So Tied Up, and then the other one was The Race, which isn't bad. Both of those were pretty good songs. The rest of it, oh my. Anyway, I'm not a techno guy, and I don't like techno music, but those 2 particular songs were particularly good. So I want to thank my friend Craig for the 2 songs, which are now resting in my phone, which I will be listening to. But there you go. Okay, we move on. There was a gentleman, or a lady, could be a lady, could be a gentleman. I don't know, honestly, because the The name that they gave me was Mar F. Ski. M-A-R, and middle initial F, S-K-I. I want to give them proper credit because they actually recommended some groups and a female singer that I hadn't really spent time listening to and I thought were actually fairly decent. So credits to you. First one was a band called Shinedown, Shinedown. They're actually a Florida band where I'm living right now. What I did when I went into and listened to these various groups, and I did actually this with Yellow too, because they only had one album out, so I listened to the album. But what I would do is I would listen to the top songs as listed in Apple. So right at the very top of the Apple screen for these particular groups, they have top songs. I would listen to those songs, or at least snippets of them to see what I thought. The lead singer for Shinedown is really, really good. He's got a great, great voice. It was a lot closer to what I like than some of the other groups that were recommended, but I thought it was very, very good. They've also got 3 live albums. Now, the live albums are from 2010, 2011, 2013. They haven't really done a live album recently. I really like live music. I really, really do. Most of the stuff I have is live from concerts. I really do. I don't know why, but I think there's a lot more energy to it. But I liked them. They weren't bad. I can tell you that the lead singer's an angry guy. I mean, he sings angry. So that was one kind of challenge. But otherwise, I think I downloaded like 3 or 4 songs of theirs, which are pretty good. And they're all different. What I did is I took the top songs and the ones I liked, I downloaded. So I actually liked them. They, I was just thinking of something from the old American Bandstand with Dick Clark. The kids would say, "Oh yeah, it was easy to dance to. I'd give it a 92." It was easy to listen to because it was, and the music was each song was a little bit different than the other one. So it wasn't your average heavy metal. Everything almost sounds the same. It's almost a kind of a repetitive type of thing. It was actually pretty good. So Shinedown, I would recommend them. The next one was Black Stone Cherry. Now, what got me about Black Stone Cherry, that's 3 words, Black Stone Cherry, was that the drummer's uncle and the drummer's father were the originators and founded the Kentucky Headhunters. I am a big Kentucky Headhunter fan. So that was already really, really cool to me. So I listened to some of theirs, and there are 2 songs. 2 songs. I mean, they do a lot of good stuff, but there were 2 songs that it was almost an instant download for me. And I would highly recommend to you all. The first one is called Blame It on the Boom Boom. You figure out what the boom boom is, and then you listen to the song, and that will certainly help you figure out what the boom boom is. But it is really, I don't want to say it's cute, because that's that for a relatively heavy metal group, that would probably be the wrong word to use. But it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, and it's got a great beat to it. And it was a lot of fun to listen to, and I immediately downloaded it. The other one was Like I Roll. I wrote that one down as well. I like that particular version. I like that particular song. And they also have a much more recent live album that I'm going to be checking out. I think it's from the Royal Albert Hall in England. I think it's 2022. So I will be checking that out down the road. But I did like Black Stone Cherry. They already had me at Uncle and Father founding Kentucky Headhunters. But it's a pretty good group, and I would recommend it to you all. He had recommended, or she had recommended, Mumford & Sons. I already have a bunch of their stuff. I love Mumford & Sons, and I'm sure anybody that likes rock and roll or music or any sort of genre, because they kind of fit in everything. You could almost talk about them as country. You could talk about them as alternative. You could talk about them as rock and roll. You could talk about them as just about anything. But Mumford & Sons are incredibly talented, and I've got a bunch of their stuff already, so I did not look into them. But I've got about 15, 20 songs of theirs in my phone, and they're a hoot. They're really a hoot. They're really, really good. The next one that was recommended to me, and this is the only one that was a miss as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how to say it. It's either Lanny or Laney, Lany. No. Too popish. I don't like pop music. I'm not a fan of pop music. I've never liked pop music. Anybody that sings just pop music, I just don't have anything in my phone for you. There are very, very rare exceptions. Like I have a couple of Adele songs in my phone. I think she's got a magnificent voice. I have Adele. I have Celine Dion. I have a couple of songs of hers. That's about it. There, you just ran the gamut right there. You just hit them all. So I listened to about 5 or 6 songs, and just it wasn't there. But the other stuff was really, really good. He or she, I should say, mentioned 2 others, and this was kind of a pleasant surprise for me, was Miranda Lambert. I know everybody, I hear you out there going, oh, you didn't know about Miranda Lambert. The only thing I knew about Miranda Lambert was that she was the ex of Blake Shelton. The only reason I knew anything about Blake Shelton, honestly, because I kind of like country, but I don't really follow it that much, is that he's a judge on The Voice. A lot of people feel the same way. He's made a whole bunch of money being the judge on The Voice and getting people to like him and recognize his music and whatever. I actually have a couple of Blake Shelton songs on my phone. Old Red is one. I'm trying to remember the other ones. They're not big. Home. I have his version of Home on my phone. 4 or 5 songs of Blake Shelton's. But I hadn't paid any attention to Miranda Lambert until I got on her Apple site and started listening to the top songs. And she is really, really, really good. She's more rock than she is country, in my personal opinion. I know she does a lot of country music, and I know she wears cowboy hats, and I know all that, and blah, blah, blah. But Miranda Lambert. Anyway, I was listening to Miranda Lambert, and Miranda Lambert is, she's got a really good voice. She does really, really interesting songs. B. And C, she's an attractive woman. She is an attractive woman. So there you go. So for those 3 reasons, I downloaded several of her songs. But what I really downloaded them for was the music, because as I said, I like it. So the one that I wanted to mention to you all, if you really wanted to find out more about Miranda Lambert and her voice and her band, which is really tight, by the way, which is a really good band, I would take a quick gander at Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home. Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home. It's from 2021, and it's really, really fun, and it's really, really well done, and it's got more of a rock feel than a country feel, if you're into that type of thing, and I would heartily recommend it, because she is a hoot and a holler, and I will be taking a look more and more at her music in the next several days and see what other goodies I can find to download into my phone. But anyway, Miranda Lambert was a hit. Last one he recommended, or she recommended, was Trivium. Trivium. Real quickly, they were okay. But I thought Shinedown, if you compare the two, I thought Shinedown was more creative and had more of a different feel. I thought Blackstone Cherry was a little harder rockers than Trivium, and the lead singer sounded like he was pissed off too. So it's like, well, I can only do one pissed off lead singer at a time, and I think I'd rather do Shinedowns than Triviums. So that was my thought on them. Shinedown's music was interesting. Trivium's music, after about 3 or 4 songs, it all began to sound the same. So I wasn't a real big fan. There was one song, and I did not write it down, so I apologize, but there was one song that I downloaded that I thought was really good. So out of all the ones that were recommended to me, the only one that I did not recommend or I did not download any music to was Laney or Laney. I don't know how you say it, but that was the only one. Everybody else I downloaded music to, and I thought that was really cool. And there were no potholes involved as far as I was concerned. There were only Cadillac Dreams. Me dreaming of researching these groups more and more and getting more stuff into my phone and moving away from all of the stuff that I've been listening to for years and years and getting more up-to-date music. So if you, that's right, you, right there, yep, you. If you have any thoughts on, first of all, any of the ones that I've mentioned today, or you have any groups or singers or anybody that you would like to recommend to me, by all means, please. If there is a particular genre that you like, a particular genre of music that you think I might like, by all means, let me know. I actually was reading a Chuck Berry autobiography and biography. I apologize. That was a mistake. I was reading the Chuck Berry biography and came across the phrase boogie woogie. And I put boogie woogie into my phone and voila, came up with a whole genre of music. And I've downloaded about 35 or 40 songs from there because I just love that type of music. I did the same with rock. I was reading an article on music and came across the phrase rockabilly, threw that in there and came across another 40 or 50 songs. So if you know a genre of music you think I would like along those lines, I mean, for those of you who can see, it says Got Rock. For those of you who can't see, I've got a hat on that says Got Rock. If you got anything that's close to that you think I ought to check out, please feel free to let me know. And of course, that is John Willett, 1218 at gmail.com. Again, John Willett, WILLETT, 1218 at gmail.com. That would be very cool. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your suggestions. So we're now at the point where I'm going to wrap up a little early today. Normally we go about 35 minutes, but today we're gonna shoot this a little short. No potholes covered today, but we'll get back into potholes next week. Again, I don't know where we might go, but I'm going to have to sit down and think about some topics, and I'll try to get those out to you before the next episode. If not, hey, we'll have 5 or 6 topics ready for you, and we'll go from there. Again, 2 reminders. Demi Bennett, DemiBennett. If you know Demi Bennett, I would love to interview her. And it would be all about her journey and her struggles to get where she is at the ripe old age of 20-something versus the 67-year-old who's still working for a living. I think it would be an interesting discussion. I would hope it would be a discussion and not an interview, to be honest with you. And I think it would be something that no matter what age you are, I think you would be able to learn something from her as to what it takes to become successful and what kind of sacrifices maybe you have to make. I think it would be a really fun talk. Anyway, Demi Bennett, if you know her, I would love to talk with her. And obviously the champ, Christy Martin Salters, would love to have her on the program as well to speak basically about potholes. She and I have both stepped in a whole bunch. She has done very, very well for herself, obviously, just recently inducted in the Boxing Hall of Fame. And I am still stepping out of them and moving forward as best I can. So those 2 ladies I would love to have on the broadcast at some point. For the rest of you, I want you to have a great weekend. I want you to have a great week. And I hope you do not step any potholes. I hope you only have Cadillac dreams. And I look forward to chatting with you very, very soon. And have a great, great day.